Hi, Hillside families. Welcome to fourth grade for the 2020 school year. For our back to school night presentation, we're going to go over a few things to introduce you to the new school year and the new environment that we will be teaching from. So first, all of the teachers will introduce themselves. Then we will talk about class information. We'll talk a little bit about our positive behavior system, which is called PBIS. We'll talk about the content and curriculum, as well as grading. We'll touch on Schoology and Phoenix, and then we'll wrap up with Futura and a survey at the end of our presentation.
Hi everyone, I'm Brittany Alexander. I'm one of the new fourth grade teachers. I've been teaching fourth grade this will be my 5th year in Loudoun, so I'm excited to start at Hillside. A few things about me. I got married last year. My husband is the art teacher at Eagle Ridge. We both went to JMU. We like going to Oriole games, and we're obsessed with our dog. Her name's Eller. She's the best.
Hi, I'm Joanna Diablo. This is my 3rd year at Hillside teaching 4th grade. Previously, I taught 2nd grade for many years. I am originally from Minnesota, where I got my undergrad degree in speech language pathology. And then when I moved here, I went to ODU to get my master's in education. I enjoy going to the lakes when I'm back in Minnesota, watching movies. I can't live without coffee. And of course, spending time with my family. I have 2 daughters, Sophie, who will be a senior at Briar Woods, and Uli, who will be a 2nd grader here at Hillside.
Hi, I'm Brynn Candle. This is my 2nd year at Hillside, but my 7th year teaching. I previously taught 1st and 3rd grade in Fairfax County. I'm originally from Philadelphia, and I'm a huge Philly sports fan, which is why you'll see the Eagles there. I got my undergrad from Penn State University, and I recently got my master's from George Mason University for educational leadership so that I can one day be a principal. In these pictures, you'll see my fiance, Greg. Our wedding got moved from June to this October. So in October, I'll be changing my name to be Mrs. Jones. And we are also obsessed with our dog. She's a 1-year-old German Shepherd named Pepper.
Hi, Hillside families. My name is Kristen Kirkland. This is my 8th year teaching at Hillside. Hillside is such a wonderful school. Prior to that, I taught in Alexandria City Public Schools for 7 years, and I taught grades 1st, 2nd, and 4th. And I gotta say, 4th is my favorite. So my family, I have 3 wonderful children. My youngest is Carly. She's 19. She's a sophomore at Virginia Tech. My next son is Chris. He's 22. He just graduated from Virginia Tech. And my oldest, Billy, is 25, and he's been gainfully employed since he graduated from Christopher Newport University. A few things about myself. I love to exercise. I love to swim. I love to play tennis. I love to walk. I'm originally from Western Pennsylvania, hence I'm a big Steeler fan, and this area I know is still full of lots of Steelers fans. Tennis, and one of the other things I love to do is read. I'm a voracious reader. The beach is my very happy place, and in the evening I love to eat ice cream.
Hi, Hillside families. I am Mrs. Lareda. This will be my 5th year at Hillside, and ergo my 5th year teaching 4th grade. I am originally from the Los Angeles area. My undergrad and my master's are both in art history. I came back east to get my master's in art history from George Washington University, and then I was in the auction industry for a stretch. After having our 2 children, Nicholas is now 14 and Catherine is 12. I retrained and got my certificate of in education from Shenandoah University. We've lived in Ashburn since 2003. My husband and I very much love to travel, so I think my pictures kind of emphasize that we love travel. We actually met living in Germany, studying at a language institute. Our family is involved very much so in the Scouts. So I have a picture there of Nicholas and Catherine in their BSA Scout uniforms. And we share no puppy dogs, but we have a fierce but fluffy Himalayan Chessie, and that is a shot of Nibbles, our hamster. Looking forward to this year.
Okay, I'm going to start out talking about the distance learning schedule. And this is going to be sort of a big picture of what our daily schedule will look like in terms of what time we start, what time we'll end our day, how many minutes of synchronous and asynchronous time the kids will have, and specials and lunch. So every day we'll start out at 8 a.m. for our morning meeting, Monday through Friday. During the week, Monday through Friday, the kids will have about 60 to 90 minutes of asynchronous work and about 90 to 155 minutes of synchronous work. So that's face-to-face time with the teacher, Tuesday through Friday. Specials for fourth grade this year will be from 10:30 to 11:15. Then we will have a 30-minute lunch, a 30-minute recess, and then at 2:30 to 3, teachers will have office hours, Tuesday through Friday, for parents to ask questions or for kids to come on to ask any questions they might have. Other than that, individual teachers will have their own schedules in terms of when they will be teaching what content subjects. So you will get your individual classroom schedule from the teacher once we get started with the year. Okay, next I'm also going to talk about sort of our expectations for our virtual classrooms. And this was given to us and sent, we went over this with the kids in spring when we went to distance learning, and it's our positive behavioral interventions and strategies. So this is really the norms that were created here at Hillside for distance learning. So we're going to use these again this year to help us establish expectations in our virtual classroom. And these are expectations about how students should behave in our virtual classrooms and how to use technology responsibly.
Okay, so moving into the curriculum, to start, we're going to talk about reading and writing. Reading and writing will be broken up in each day, and you might also hear of it referred to as ELA, English Language Arts. We will do small group lessons for reading and writing where we're pulling groups of a few students. There might be times when we ask for individual conferences with students, and then of course we will have synchronous and asynchronous large group activities for students to do as well as book clubs. One thing that we focus on throughout the school year is checking and monitoring fluency as well as reading comprehension, and we do that by using the DRA, which stands for the Developmental Reading Assessment. We will have interactive read-alouds where we are reading stories to the students as well as asking them to log on and listen to stories online. And then word study is also a component of the reading and writing workshop. You can see there some of the things that we will talk about during word study, looking for context clues, roots, affixes, synonyms, antonyms, homophones, using word reference materials, and then integrating vocabulary from different areas as well. Moving on to math, we will also be following the math workshop model, and the focus with math workshop is around number sense. For every summative unit, we will have a pre and post test where students will take that test before and after the assessment. We will be doing this on computers, and in the classroom, students typically are familiar with doing these on computers because we are preparing them for the SOL on a computer anyways. Listed here, you will see all of the units that we will cover during our time in fourth grade. And then in the little bubble, I just want to point out that it would be very beneficial if your child is practicing their multiplication facts. We know in third grade that they didn't learn all the way up to the 12 times tables, but we strongly recommend that they are reviewing them and getting in any extra practice they can with that.
Okay, so for our science curriculum in fourth grade, we are going to cover life processes having to do with different cycles, living systems, and ecological environments, interrelationships in Earth-space systems, so sun, moon, Earth relationships, Earth patterns and resources. And our new topic we just entered into last year is going to be ocean environments, having to do with the oceanography and life cycle and food webs, et cetera, of the oceans. In Virginia Studies, we're going to be covering approximately over 400 years of Virginia history. We will start with Virginia past and present, geography having to do with our regions of our state, First Peoples, the Native Americans who were here well prior to the first English settlers coming, the Virginia colony, Jamestown, et cetera, established in the 1600s. Life in Virginia colony from 1620s to 1760s, which is once we were fully established as a permanent colony. Virginia and the Revolution, many of our founding fathers were actually Virginians, so we'll study that. Building a new nation once we gained our independence from England. Civil War, rebuilding Virginia post-Civil War, Reconstruction and beyond. And then we will cover 20th century and 21st century in changing times in Virginia.
In fourth grade, we follow a 1, 2, 3, 4 grading scale. A 1 is a percentage of 69% and below. A 2 is a range of 70 to 79%. A 3 is an 80 to 89%. And then a 4 would be a 90 to 100%. So on tests, summative assignments, you will see one of those or many of those scores. If your child receives a summative score below 80%, which is a 2 or a 1, that does qualify them for a retake, with the maximum score that they could get being an 80%, which is a 3. Summative tests will be taken online, like Ms. Candle mentioned. They're taken through Performance Matters, which is used to help prepare them for the SOL test. Students will also have formative assessments in the form of observations, exit tickets, check-ins, and worksheets. Our new platform that we're using this year instead of Google Classroom is called Schoology. That is where all students' materials, assignments, and instruction will be provided. Schoology will house the links for their work and their Google Meet links, but Phoenix is still the system that's used for the grading. So Parent View is where you'll still see the grades, just like in previous years.
Okay, so our next slide talks about Futura. Some students from third grade were found eligible for that. So what is that going to look like? Futura classes will begin on Friday, September 18th. For our students, they will meet synchronously and asynchronously from 9 to 11:30 on Fridays. Futura teacher will contact families with individual information. We have 2 wonderful Futura teachers, and if you have any further questions about Futura or their emails, feel free to contact them directly. And last but not least, thank you, all of your wonderful Hillside families. We're going to ask that during this presentation, you might have had questions. So we now have a survey for you to complete by Monday, August 31st, if you have any questions. That will give teachers a chance to look over the questions, and then we can better address them during our open house night. You will be finding out more information about open house. We look forward to a wonderful school year with you, despite current situations, but we're thrilled and looking forward to a wonderful year in 4th grade.